What's going on, everybody? It was a deload session today, so I'm going to use the opportunity to show something else for the most part. So I might have some clips of the session like you're seeing now in the background, but I wanted to use today as an opportunity to go through the website symmetricstrength.com, which I use quite often for just like a way of tracking my progress and comparing it to benchmarks and standards. The session itself was a deload today, so I just did some sample exercises from the knees over toes guy, the arse to grass squats program, which I'll talk about after the symmetric strength portion of this video. This is symmetricstrength.com, so I like to do everything rounded off to 1 kilo, but it's a good website with the options that it gives you. It's not all encompassing by any means, but it gives you some good options. So the lifts that you can use to program for it to give you some feedback is back squat, front squat, deadlift, sumo deadlift, power clean, bench press, incline bench press, dip, chin up, pull up, Pendlay Row, overhead press, push press, and snatch press. Okay, so I do most of these during the program. It's pretty good because these lifts actually match up with a lot of lifts that I would use. So I'll start with putting my body weight in, and my body weight's about 72 kilos at the moment. Obviously, I have to choose one lift. So if I put in my best ever lifts, from what I remember, alright, I think these are the lifts I'm going to record. So if I remember correctly, back squat 145 for 2, 100 for 5, deadlift 150 for 1, power clean 93 for 1. It was 92.5, but 93 is fine. Bench press 95 for 1. Push press I've done 80 for 1, but I think I could probably have done more. Chin ups and pull ups were weighted. Chin ups was 31 for 1. Pull up 26 for 1. Pendlay Row was 85 for 1. So let's have a look. Okay, so as you can see, it grades the individual lifts, grades the movement patterns, and grades the lifts relative to each other. Okay, and then you've got lifts versus the average lifter who's at your level, so you can find out proportionally if you're stronger or weaker on certain lifts than someone who's on average as strong as you. But I like this view here where it gives you the lifts relative to each other. So, and then probably what I think the best part is it gives you a visual representation of you, and the muscle groups are color coded based on their strength level. So probably pretty accurate, I think, for me at the time when I recorded these lifts. Was my quads and glutes were the strongest muscle groups, and they are proficient if you look at the legend at the bottom here. So ideally, it'd be good to have every muscle group the same color, but everyone's got strong points, everyone has weak points. And again, the definitions here of proficient, advanced, exceptional, elite, world class are based on strength athletes. They're not based on field athletes or footballers. So, you take it with a pinch of salt. World class means you're world class in strength, which if you're world class in strength, you're obviously going to be stronger than every other person who plays field sports, because if they were that strong, they'd be competing in strength sports anyway. So I digress. The most I think I've recorded strength at in anything or muscle groups is proficient. I don't think I've ever been advanced at anything yet, but it would be a nice goal to have. And I do remember that when you get to this benchmark of being proficiently strong, you feel like you're stronger than the other athletes around you. Now, I can only imagine how good it would feel to get to the advanced level, and I'll get to the actual numbers in a sec of what it means to be advanced and what exceptional means, etc. So this gives you some other data here, how symmetrical you are, score out of 100, and then it estimates your powerlifting scores, which are not really relevant to me. Strongest lift, back squat, weakest lift, push press, I predicted that. Gives you another bit of feedback here about strongest muscle groups versus weakest. And now we go to the strength standards. So this is good. So you work out exactly what you need to do for however many reps, up to 10, to be considered either intermediate, proficient, advanced, exceptional in these lifts. So I think it does favor higher reps. So let's say we'll go for 10 reps. So if you can back squat 105 for 10, you are proficient. If you can back squat 122 for 10, then you're advanced. So the advanced column would be a great target for me. I don't know about exceptional and elite. We'll see how we go. But I'm going to be hovering around intermediate to proficient for the first couple months of this whole journey that you guys are going to watch. But eventually I want to be hitting these proficient numbers than the advanced numbers. So the advanced numbers are going to be really, really difficult, I think, especially considering most of my lifts are between 8 and 3 reps, depending on the exercise. So if we're looking at 3 reps, that means the weights are going to go significantly higher because it's a 3 rep max rather than 8 or 10, whatever I had it on before. So let's look at some of the lifts that I'm doing. So back squat for 3, advanced would be 151 kilos. Front squat 121. Deadlift 174. Power clean. I mean, the sumo deadlift, I don't know if I would do it, to be honest, but the power clean 97 kilos for 3. Bench, I think this is really, really tough. I don't think I'll get this, but who knows? 113 for 3. Dip with 60 kilos added on. I think that's probably more favorable. So I reckon I've done 44 or 45 kilos for 4 reps in dip. That's probably my strongest pushing exercise, which would put me around this proficient level anyway. Overhead press, to get to advanced, you need to overhead press 73 for 3. That's difficult. 98 for push press. So I think the push press and the power clean stay kind of close to each other. As you can see here, there's not much discrepancy between the two lifts. So whatever you can power clean, the bench press. Where are we? No, the power clean. So whatever you power clean, you should be able to do a push press with it. So if you can power clean 139 for 3, if you're world class, you should be able to also do a push press for 3. Okay? Snatch press is a very difficult but very beneficial exercise, I think, for the shoulders. Very, very hard to execute properly. Requires a lot of external rotation and mobility. It's something that I'm toying with. I've done it before. I enjoy it. I'll see how it goes. Chin up, 30 for 3 and 27 for 3 on the pull-up are both numbers that I haven't hit for that amount of reps, as far as I know. I think chin-ups I hit 35 for 1. But yeah, see, it says here 39 for 1 is considered proficient in the chin-up, which for me, that's very strong, especially for my body weight, 72 kilos. The other side of this is if I lose a kilo or 2, then these numbers will go down. So if I go up to the top here and let's say I get down to, 69 kilos. I'll press enter and then it should reload. So some of these scores have gone up now. As you can see, the diagram's changed. So if I hit the same numbers at a lower body weight, my strength or my power to weight ratio or strength to weight ratio, whatever you want to call it, increases. Therefore, I become relatively stronger and the scores reflected here. So if you look now, for a 69 kilo male, I think some of these scores have changed. So, yeah, so I think advanced for 3 was 150 something, if I remember correctly. So now it's 146 for 3 is an advanced back squat. Advanced would be good. Pendlay Row, yeah, 89 for 3. That's probably doable, I think. So definitely have my work cut out for me. But who knows? It could be a very interesting. Could be a very, very interesting time. Okay, so because I spent the majority of the time talking about symmetric strength, I'm not going to show the entire workout today, especially since it was a deload. It was more about me having fun with different movements, especially this one here, the Jefferson Curl, which, yes, it's supposed to look like that. You basically use it as a loaded stretch to get some flexion through your back, unlock the spine a little bit. Good hamstring strength, strength at length, I suppose. It's a loaded hamstring stretch as well. And I think it was only the first set that I used the bar, to be honest. I went back to an 8 kilo kettlebell after that because it was a little bit too heavy and I was getting a little bit of irritation behind my right knee, which is a distal hamstring tendon. And so it's a good stretch. I like sessions like this because, you get to explore some range, some mobility, and just reset everything. Give the central nervous system a bit of time to rest after the heaviest week of the program where you're doing 3 reps on the big lifts. And now I essentially have a choice as to how I'm going to structure the next meso cycle. So I could do the exact same program as the previous month, but each lift will be increased by 1 to 2.5 to 5 kilos depending on the lift. And depending on, how I'm feeling. And, for example, I think the split squats and the RDLs will go up by 2.5 kilos each. The single leg RDLs, that is. Whereas the double leg variations will go up by 5 kilos. And still within my capabilities, strength-wise. But I'm starting to wonder if that's the ideal way to go, or if I start shifting things around to eventually looking like the 2018 program that I was doing, and just to get into that groove early. And that'll be the topic likely of the next video. So like I did the screen recording for symmetric strength, I'll do the screen recording for the spreadsheet for the 2018 style program that I'm considering doing. So it's basically 5 mini sessions, which I will do either in 2 or 3 workouts. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do the upper body stuff yet, but depends how I'm going for time, and depends if I'm happy with my lower body progress. But essentially, it's 2 upper body mini sessions, and the mini sessions are 3 exercises each. That's all. So between 3 and 4 sets, 3 exercises each. That's a mini session. So I've got them labeled A, B, C, D, E. You will see them in the next video where I'll talk about it at length. But in summary, it's 2 mini sessions of lower body exercises with their own progression from week to week as far as changing the sets and reps. Then there's 2 mini sessions of 3 upper body exercises each with their own progression as far as reps and sets go. And then one of the mini sessions is focused on more specific accessory exercises, some core, that sort of thing. And I think that's 3 exercises as well. Again, progressing in terms of reps and sets differently to the others. So it's not the most straightforward program, but it is the program that I was doing when I was at my strongest. And at the time, I was in the gym 4 times a week. So the good thing is, if I do it that way, it'll be more content uploaded regularly on the channel. And I don't have an issue with that. I'm definitely keen to try it at some stage. Eventually, it will get to that point where, on the days that I have football training, I might do the upper body session if I'm working out in the morning. If I ever have to do football and gym on the same day, and it's lower body, the gym will come after football training. But these are all things that I have to tackle on a day-by-day basis. And like I said before, that's going to be the focus of the video. that follows this one. So it'll be interesting. And I think just on a side note, the exercises that you're watching me do in this video right now, the accessory exercises, the deload exercises, I do think they also have value in terms of loading them up. I think that learning to move through range is really important, as you've heard me probably explain many times if you've watched other videos on this channel, that learning to be strong at long ranges and getting into positions that are at long muscle lengths, but still having the capability to contract and move powerfully, I think is a really important asset of athleticism, or a really important component of athleticism, I should say. And I definitely think that these exercises have a place, but I'm only human and I can't fit every single exercise on earth into a program at the same time. Some things have to be periodized. There are other things that I want to fit into the program. There are other things that I think will actually give me more benefit in terms of carryover to athleticism, exercises that track and field sprinters do, like step-ups, more functional stuff, like a power clean, but instead of just a clean, you go a clean into a lunge onto a box, which I'm going to need to demonstrate at some stage so that you guys know what I'm talking about. But a lot of those track and field exercises have really great carryover to running and straight line speed, obviously. I mean, that's why track and field athletes do them. So there's a lot of options, a lot of things that will change moving forward. But I've been in a general preparation phase, this exact phase, for 5 weeks now, I think. And before that, I was just doing other stuff in the gym, trying to get myself ready. And that's been going on for now 3 or 4 months. So I think it's time to dial in. One more deload session, just relax a little bit of a reset. We'll look at the options for the program in the next video. And if you've made it this far, thank you. I really appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you in the next one.